Hello my scrappy friends and welcome to my channel today. It's lovely to have you here. This page is for Cut to You and I had a lot of fun creating it. So this is the page that I've created. Looking at it, you wouldn't know that I had used a cut file, but I'm just going to quickly show you here. I have used the Stitched Geo Heart cut file and you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I've brought the file into Silhouette Studio and I am tracing it, deleting the PNG image, and then I'm going to enlarge this so it takes up most of the background. This tutorial is very short today because this was a fairly easy, quick trace it, make it bigger kind of thing. And so that's pretty much it. I'm going to center it in the page just to make sure that I've got it where I want it. Took me a minute to find the right button. Sometimes I'm a very blonde still. Makes me laugh. So I'm just looking for the right button to find the transformation window, I think it is. And you can see I'm just centering that into the page now. Happy with where that is. I'm happy with the size of it. And I'm going to send that to cut now. There we go. It's just going to load up there. And that's my whole tutorial done. I've got some smooth white cardstock here. It is pre-gesso with clear gesso because I knew I was going to add lots of mixed media. And I'm just using a little bit of washi tape to tape down this piece of cardstock. Now, this piece of cardstock came in, I think, a really cheap album that I purchased to store stencils in. And it's like 11 inches by 12 inches. So I know that I'm not ever going to use it. You could use any kind of pattern paper for this, you know, if everyone has a piece of paper in their stash from some point that they don't love. So you could always use one of those. The other thing is you could also use this, a pattern paper that you liked and kind of get two uses out of it. So there's nothing saying that you couldn't use this actual cut file page at another point if you really love the pattern. Does that make sense? And do something with that. What I've got here is some modelling paste. This is just the Aldi brand. When they had it here, I stocked up. Well, I didn't stock up, I bought a tub and I really like it. It's really nice to put on. It's nice and smooth. It's not too thick, it's not too runny, and I really like it. So I'm just going to pull that stencil off. Now, because this is paper, I do have to be a little bit more careful than I might otherwise have been. And just a side note too, you do have to work a little bit quickly with it as well. You can see I'm just tidying up some of the bits where the paste went under the stencil. I'm not being too particular about it, and I'm quite happy with it. There's still a couple of areas where you can see the modelling paste has gone underneath the stencil, but I wasn't going for perfect. I'm going for mixed media. So did you see what I'm playing with? They're my brand new Distress Oxide sprays. I took a class with Farrell Taylor a couple of weeks ago, and these sprays are awesome. I love them. So I am using, the green is cracked pistachio, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm literally just spritzing some onto the cardstock, adding water and tipping and turning the page. Now, because I have put a good coating of gesso on my cardstock, I'm able to clean off any overspray, which really made me happy because I did want to concentrate my colour around where this cut file is. So I'm just using a wet wipe and going over where the extra spray has gone just to clean that up. I'm going to do a bit more of that as the page progresses, but you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just using water, a paintbrush, tipping and turning the page, adding, so the blue colour is Mermaid Lagoon and then this darker blue is Faded Jeans. And you can see I'm just going back in again and cleaning that up. So easy to clean up once you've got that gesso on the page. Just making sure I've got the colours kind of not evenly, but evenly spread around the page. So there's a bit of the darker here and a bit of the green there, and yeah, just generally having fun with this. Adding a bit more water because the colour wasn't moving as much as I wanted, tipping and turning the page, dabbing up the colour when it goes where I don't want it to go, and just making sure that whole, all of those cross stitches are covered. So you can see I'm going right to the edge and I'm kind of defining that heart shape a little bit more. This is one of the new paintbrushes that I got for Christmas. I really like them. Got one loose hair came out of the paintbrush. It wouldn't come off. So I'm going to dry that off a bit with my heat tool in a second. Just letting that colour flow. Oh no, adding a bit more green. Using my paintbrush again. I do have this paintbrush in 2 sizes, I think. Love it. Heat tool, and I'm just tipping some of the excess water off the page and catching it with my baby wipe. Decided that the green became too blue, so I've just added some more of that green on top. The beautiful thing about these oxide sprays is that they do layer on top of each other rather than completely blending together, so you can get those different colours coming through. You can see I'm really scrubbing that paper, trying to get the excess spray off, and I'm really impressed with how well it came off. So I'm just adding in more of that green. You can see I've kind of cleaned off around the edge of that heart as well. I'm going to do the top here, and you can see how easily that colour comes off. I wasn't happy with the shape that I was getting, so I just cleaned it off. I'm going to go back in a second, just with some water on that paintbrush, just to blend out those edges a tiny bit more, and I'm much happier with how that looks. As you can see, I did, because of the gesso, because of the heat tool, because of the water, my page did warp a bit, so I just used some yellow painter's tape, folded it over and put that under the 4 corners, because I knew I was going to sprinkle and walk away. So first colour is again the cracked pistachio. The second one, that lighter blue, brighter blue, is Mermaid Lagoon, and then this other blue is Faded Jeans. Faded Jeans is one of my favourite colours in the Distress range. I love it. Kind of keeping the colours to where they are on the heart, but also kind of spreading them around a bit. I did decide to soak up some of those colours. Because of the gesso, I found that the splatters were spreading out a little bit more than I wanted, so I just soaked up some of the moisture so that it wasn't going to spread as much. And I've left this, I think, overnight to dry. These are the 2 photos I'm scrapbooking. So these are from 2012. When we found out we were pregnant with our second, we decided to move our first fairly early during the pregnancy so that the big one didn't feel like he was less loved and the baby was more important or anything crazy like that. So we did move him, I think these photos were taken in March. I can't remember. And my youngest is an August baby, so we did move Jacob pretty quickly. But he was so excited to help paint. You can see the grin on his face. It's just priceless. He looks so little next to my husband. Time just goes so quickly, and they grow so fast. Interestingly enough, as well. So if you're a Stampin' Up person and you know the colours. The colour that they're painting the wall is actually Pacific Point. I fell in love with this colour and I got the paint matched to a sample of the cardstock. So yeah, I got it matched to that particular colour, and that pattern paper that I've backed behind the photo, the base colour is actually the Pacific Point as well. And then the lighter blue in there, I can't remember what it's called, is the other walls in his room. True scrapbooker, right? This is before I was scrapbooking. I'm going to mount my photos and that word awesome on some foam and cardboard. The awesome I got some veneer for Christmas, and I happened to look over and I saw it sitting there. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can use any of those words. And sure enough, that awesome matches that cracked pistachio perfectly. So I'm going to build that into my title. When I first printed these photos, I knew that the title was going to be Dad's Little Helper. But when I saw the awesome, I was like, I've got to include that. So the title evolves and becomes Dad's Awesome Little Helper. I've got these glittery blue thickers. I love this font. I love the colour. They are old and they are chipboard, so they do not stick. So you'll see me place them and then add in some glue. Paige Evans foam thickers and another Amy Tan font as well, just in the blues and greens to match. I knew I wanted to add some embellishing, but I didn't want to add too much, so I've jumped into my Ellie Studio box of goodies and I use a couple of cut aparts. I think that one says love this smile or love your smile or something like that. And I can't remember what the other one says. Good times, I think. So I'm just going through this ephemera pack, see if there's anything extra I want to add. I do try a couple of things, but I don't end up adding anything. I do end up going with those two pieces exactly where they are now. I move them around a couple more times. I try this little journaling piece and decide that's not quite right. Gonna try, no, I add in a couple of labels. So this one, I bought that one in to bring the dark blue over to the left hand side, and I'm going to layer that on one of the tealy coloured, greeny coloured labels as well. I'm going to stamp the, no, I'm going to stick this down. I'm going to use a little bit of cardboard underneath the top half and then just stick the rest flat to my photos. And I'm going to have to move them again because I'm half covering my husband's head with that little ephemera piece. Add some glue, sorry for the back of the head shot. Cracked pistachio ink to stamp the date there. I don't know if you can read that. I can't. It's tiny on my screen. But that's how all the photos are. I decided I wanted to add a different texture and I wanted a contrasting colour. So I pulled out these puffy heart stickers and I'm going for the yellow. I really like the yellow on this page. I did toy with the idea of adding some yellow splatters, but I thought, no, I'm just going to leave the hearts. I do end up using all of the hearts on this, all of the yellow hearts on this sheet. I think I get 7 on the page. But yeah, I really like the contrast of the yellow. One more down the bottom. Calling it done. I'm going to add in my journaling. I'm going to use a Stampin' Right marker from Stampin' Up in a navy blue. And that is my page complete. This was a lot of fun to create. Have you ever used a cut file other than like kind of sticking it to a page? What have you done with it? Leave me some ideas. It might be a fun way for me to experiment with cut files in a different way. These oxides are beautiful as well. So if you haven't got some, maybe you should. But I'm not enabling you, I promise I'm not. Make sure you head over to the store, especially in a few days' time, because I know that we have a brand new release coming. This cut file is super fun, super versatile, and I really love how this page came together. Thank you ever so much for stopping by, and I will see you again very soon.